Well, I'm joined now by the Shadow International Trade Secretary, Nick Thomas-Symonds. A very good morning to you and a very happy birthday, I understand.
Very good morning. Great to join you, and I appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you.
What a way to start your birthday here on Sky News. It's good to have you with us. Just in light of those comments from Jeremy Hunt, I'd love your reaction, if I may. Would Labour be content with seeing a recession if it did mean that inflation came down?
No government should ever be content to see recession. And what we are seeing, I'm afraid, are the consequences here of all these failed and wasted years of Conservative rule. We're only, even now, a few months away from that absolutely disastrous Truss Kwarteng mini budget. People are paying the Tory mortgage premium up and down the country, and people are still dealing with the consequences of this Tory chaos. The result up and down the country are families really feeling the pinch in this cost of living crisis. And frankly, this government has no credible plan to restore growth and put the country on that sustainable, stable, long-term path that the country needs to be on to generate that economic growth and to ease the cost of living pressures for families up and down the country.
But certainly inflation is proving a very big challenge, not just here, but also in other countries as well. And certainly the Chancellor has said he will do whatever it takes in order to bring down inflation. Would Labour be prepared to do whatever it takes as well?
Well, we would be prepared to put into place our strategy for growth and to make choices and to set priorities. And what we've seen from this government, this latest Conservative government, when they've had to make choices, they don't stand on the side of ordinary families. You think recently of the pensions changes that this government made when there was a specific problem with doctors and retaining doctors, which of course we need to do. Instead of simply coming up with a solution for doctors' pensions, as has previously happened, for example, with judges' pensions, they decided to give this enormous giveaway of £1 billion to the wealthiest, the very wealthiest people up and down the country. Always politics is about choices and priorities. And this government does not stand on the side of working people. And I'm afraid, having listened to the Chancellor, just a brief clip of the Chancellor there, I've little confidence in that changing in the near future.
OK, so it's very easy to bash the government, isn't it? It's much easier to criticise when you're outside the tent in opposition. What would Labour have done differently in the current climate?
Well, first and foremost, you have to provide economic stability. And first and foremost, you need political stability. The government has been running through crisis to crisis. The three prime ministers, all the chancellors. We're supposed to have a skills strategy. Instead, I think we've had 5 recent education secretaries. So the first thing you need to do is to provide that stability. Then you need a plan for growth. Labour's guiding mission in government will be to get the fastest growing economy in the G7. Now, how will we achieve that? Well, we've set out our green prosperity plan, our climate investment pledge, a clean energy sprint by 2030 as we move to renewables, as we create the green jobs of the future and we insulate 19 million homes. And what that will do is give us both energy security for the future, so we don't rely on dictators like Putin, but also lower bills, because energy bills are such an enormous part of the moment of families' budgets, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, these are long-term plans, though, aren't they? And actually, the major urgent issues need to be dealt with right now. And is one of the issues not that we've potentially cut ourselves off from our biggest trading partner, the EU? Would Labour change that?
Well, we certainly will be looking at how we can ease trading barriers between the EU and the UK. We won't be rejoining the customs union or the single market. It is not in the national interest to reopen the debates of the past, and we won't be doing that. But certainly in our trading relationship with the EU, we need to lower those barriers. So, for example, we could negotiate a veterinary agreement with the EU. And what that would mean is on things like agricultural products, agri-food products, we really could reduce tariff barriers to contribute to making the cost of food cheaper for people across the country. And that is so important because we've just been having that discussion about halving inflation. But of course, food inflation is running at a significantly higher level than the headline rate of inflation that's published. And that is affecting families every week up and down the country.
It certainly is.
And that changing the trading barriers is actually a practical thing we could do to make a difference.
Do you think Brexit has added to higher inflation?
It's the Conservatives' handling of the economy and the Conservatives' handling of the deal that they negotiated with the European Union that's caused the immediate problems. We've had 13 years now of Conservative government, 13 wasted years in which growth throughout that time has been anemic. They just haven't had a proper plan for growth. They still don't have a proper plan for growth. And that's why, by the way, when you speak to people on the doorstep and you put that question, has any public service got better under the Conservatives? The answer to that is no. And that's not the fault of the fantastic people who work in them. It's the fault of the government.